taking the video, putting the content out there, and seeing how other people react to it has been really, really interesting to figure out what I want to do with it all. Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie, and I hope you have yourself a fantastic day. I was sitting at this table sorting some Pokemon cards, and I thought I would have a conversation with you guys about YouTube, about making content. It'll be a little different video. Curious what you think about it in the comment section. The world over the last 5 years, really right before the pandemic, this started happening, but the pandemic really solidified it. The world has changed, and the thing that matters most now is viewership and eyeballs on products and things that people are watching. And because of that, because of TikTok and YouTube and Instagram Reels and, you know, even X or Twitter or whatever it's called now is pushing video and content, the value of content has increased significantly, and it's made ways for things like this YouTube channel or whatever content creator that you watch on the regular. If you're here for the first time, well, welcome. And so I want to have a conversation with you about what it takes to make content and have just an open dialogue about this YouTube channel and what happened. And I would encourage you, if you're somebody who watches YouTube content or Twitter content or whatever content, TikTok, and you enjoy it, I would encourage you to make it. And I think that as the world continues to adapt and change, it's only going to get easier to make content, and it's obviously the viewership is not going anywhere. But this has been one of the, I've got a wife and I've got 2 kids, and after those 3 things, this has been probably the most exciting element of my life, and it's very, very fun and very, very cool and very exciting to be a part of. So let's get into it a little bit. First and foremost, why make content? Well, I make Magic the Gathering content, and I have found in the Magic the Gathering world, and really in all TCG world, you cannot just make content in order to, this is my full-time job, but not really. The YouTube channel is part of a business that sells Magic cards, that sells Pokemon cards, that has a local retail store. This YouTube channel is only part of a larger business that allows me to quit my job, allowed me to do this full time, which is an incredible privilege, an incredible thing. But if you think that you can make TikTok content, YouTube content about a trading card game and quit your regular, 9-to-5 full-time job if you're trying to support family and kids and that thing, I don't think it can happen. Those YouTubers who already exist, your Magic, the professor, sorry, I just completely lost him. Your professor, even Rudy from Alpha Investments, he's got a business connected to his YouTube channel that allowed him to do what he does. I don't think that the goal of creating content should ever be to replace your day job. I think that's I don't want to tell you your dreams are dead, but I don't think it can happen. I just don't. Being somebody who's been doing this for 4 years, I think you have to have another element connected to your business, and YouTube creation or whatever content creation can go a long way towards that. But in order to pay the bills, you're constantly going to have to ship something out. So, your live streamers on TikTok, your live streamers on, Whatnot and YouTube and that kind of thing. They're making content, but they're really selling you something. And I think at the end of the day in this industry, YouTube content, whatever content is awesome, but it will never, the industry is not big enough. It will never bring in enough money to justify a day job. Even if you're making $10 an hour, like it just doesn't. There's not enough viewership. YouTube ad revenue and that kind of thing. I mean, for if you want to know what this channel, I think I make like $500 a month or something like that on YouTube ad revenue, and I'm doing, guess a card, win a cards every day. I'm doing multiple videos a week, anywhere from 3 to 5 videos a week on average. And that's now having a decent following on YouTube and not starting from scratch. I think it's like $500 a month, something around that on an average month. And so you just can't just make content to make money. Now, across platforms, one of the things I've started doing is doing TikTok. So one of the reasons that this video started is that I started posting the guess the card winning cards on TikTok, because I keep seeing people show the ad revenue that they're getting on these other social media platforms, and I've got the content already, so might as well just share it on those other platforms. There are ways to grow, there are ways to do that, but at the end of the day, if you're considering trying to become a TCG YouTube channel, I think you need to have some other form of revenue coming in attached to that channel. That's not to say don't do it, because I think the best thing that's come across from this YouTube channel is the community that we've built in the Discord server. I think one of the other cool things is just the relationships that I built with other content creators, the relationships I built with people who watch the videos, and not just because a lot of times that results in buying, selling, or trading things, but the insight and the information that you get when you are putting content out and people come back to you and say, hey, I remember you mentioning this, just a heads up, there's this, the other thing. And it's a really, really cool way to engage with the hobby. And so I would encourage you, if you feel like, man, I've desired to do this, I would encourage you to do it, because just post content, do it daily. There's nothing special about this channel. I don't even really know most days what this channel is or what we're doing or why people watch. There's nothing special about my background. I I'm an average guy. I grew up in a very average house. Income wise, I grew up, in a middle class in Ohio. I mean? It's not like so like you can do this, is what I'm trying to say. Anybody can do a YouTube channel like this. And that's one of the beauties of content creation, is that there is a lot more people who want to watch content than there are who are willing to take the time and energy to put themselves out there to make the content. So it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter where you came from or what your story is. People still care to hear about it. And especially when you hone in on a niche like Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or that kind of thing, the more you post, the more you consistently post, the more authentic that you are in those posts, the more viewership that comes and comes across. But yeah, I don't think it's super easy to buy into this thing as a full-time job. I would encourage people with YouTube or whatever, look at it as a hobby. And there is money to be made from the hobby, right? Like you can make it worthwhile. This is one of the things that I think is really, really, I love that about the TCG hobby too, where like you can collect cards, you can buy cards, you can trade cards that can become part of the hobby. The hobby has an intrinsic value attached to it. The same thing can come with content creation. I think the problem is when you look at content creation, you say, I want it to be the sole way that I make money. It's just too hard. There's too many people doing it. But it can be something that is worth the time to make. It can be something that is worth the time to engage in from a financial side. But then also just from the way that we are in TCGs, it can be an ability for you to sell things and to move into the avenue of buying, selling, and trading. I think that's what people really like to watch. I've watched all these Pokemon YouTubers who set up, they go up to Collecticons and they vend, and they've got their vending cameras, and the content is it's so good. It's such good content. I'm actually going to be at Collecticon in Cleveland. I think I'm going to set up like a GoPro and a microphone just to, absorb the content that happens when somebody comes up to a table and negotiates a deal or a trade. It's just really, really engaging content. And it's really fun to watch how other people do those things. And that is the secret, in my opinion, That's the secret of content, is that people just like watching and seeing and hearing about what other people do. Because I think a lot of the times people on the other side of this camera are asking the question, do I have what it takes to do that? Could I ever buy, sell, or trade like that? Could I ever start a local game store? Could I ever start? And I think like most people who are on this side of the camera would tell you, yeah, you can. Like, all it takes is commitment and time and energy. That's what it takes. It takes picking up your phone every day, even though you don't know exactly what you want to say, even though you don't know exactly how to say it, picking up your phone and taking the video and posting it. That's 95% of the work. And as you hone it in, and like, I'm still doing this. I'm not like trying to say I'm like some amazing YouTuber. As you hone it in, you learn what it is you actually have to say, what actually matters that you say, and you hone it in. And I think over the last 4 years, this channel has gone through some ups and downs and all over. And it's been really interesting to try to rebrand myself or reframe the conversations around whatever I happen to be doing at that time. And a lot of that's connected to the business side of it, right? Like, where we have a lot of things have changed in my business from where this started to where it is now. And so to adapt to that has been really interesting. And then the guess the card, win a card, like, it's just something I started doing, and the channel kind of grew a lot more because of that than it has because of these kind of long form content videos. And so adapting to those things and just taking the video, putting the content out there, and seeing how other people react to it has been really, really interesting to figure out what I want to do with it all. So I just want to encourage you. I think with AI and all the things that are going to happen, yes, there is a constant fear that things get replaced. There's a constant fear that, like, AI comes around and all of a sudden you have a bunch of AI content creators and you can't tell the difference between if it's me or an AI person making a YouTube video. And you have no clue. There's a day in the world where this could be AI and we don't know, right? But there's also, the more that happens, the more easy it becomes to create content, right? Like, you're editing. All the things that people use as an excuse to not make content, I think, get easier over the next couple of years. And it's going to become easier and easier for you to try this out and to do this and to make content. And I think that's good. I mean, I think that's really, really good, because I think there's a shortage of content on most topics still. And I know that because the viewers come back time and time again, because there's just a shortage of people making content. And so I would very much encourage you, if you've ever dreamed about doing this, the thing to do is just pick up the phone. Don't worry about buying a camera. Don't worry, I have a background in videography. I don't know if you knew that, but for 3 years, I was a professional videographer. Did corporate videography, worked at a church doing videography. And that was my job, and I have all the gear most of the time, until recently, but most of the time I record videos on my phone and just post them, because people don't really care about the quality of content as much as they care about the authenticity of content, as much as they care about the regular posting of content and engaging regularly. And so does the algorithm. Everyone wants to try to hack the algorithm, whatever. Really, the algorithm is just about, hey, I post constantly. I post daily, post weekly, I post consistently. I come back, even when a video does bad, I get off my butt and I do it again and I post another video. And so if you've ever used those excuses, I think things are going to get easier and easier to do it. Again, though, I go back to what is content in the TCG space. Content in the TCG space is usually connected to some form of business if you want to make a living doing it. Now, there are people that can make videos and just push out their content. I think most of them have other jobs, and that's great, and that can be awesome. And you can have this as a hobby that pays you, a little bit a month, and that's awesome. And I would encourage you to start there and then figure out, do you want to start a business? But as soon as you start out the idea of, like, I want to replace my income with YouTube or with content creation. I think you've gone down a path that is very, very different. Very, very few content creators are able to replace their income via content. And in the Magic the Gathering world, really just one, like maybe one or two YouTubers able to really replace their job with just content. Most people are still selling packs, doing some sort of deal on whatnot or that kind of thing. And so I think if you look at it differently, it's important. Anyway, I don't know, this video is all over the place. Just wanted to share thoughts about YouTube and thoughts about content creation because I think it really matters. I think down the line, it's just gonna continue to get bigger and more important. So have yourselves a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.